Good morning. It's the Call Flow Radio Show, and you're on the air.
Well, good morning, and welcome to the Call Flow Radio Show. I'm Chris Wood. Of course, the number is 434-394-0924 if you want to call in, say hello or whatever. But we are going to ask you to hold off on your calls for the first half of the program because we do have a special guest in our Francis E. Wood studio, and that just happens to be Chip Jones, and he is now Prince Edward County Superintendent of Schools. And here we go. Good morning, Chip.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay, except I got this little frog in my throat. But anyway, we'll get rid of that. It goes away after the Call Flow show, of course.
Ma'am.
So, you are entering in a new phase of your career, and you've moved over from Cumberland County to Prince Edward County as the superintendent.
Yes, ma'am. It's officially began July 1st. Mm-hmm. You know, I've told people this. June 30th, as I was superintendent for Cumberland County Public Schools, and then July 1, bright and early, superintendent for Prince Edward County Public Schools. So, transition, and June 30th, and I was sitting in Cumberland doing a few more reference checks for them so they could finish their hiring process. And about 5:30, quarter to 6, I was like, Chip, it's time to wrap it up. So you just leave your keys on your desk, you walk out, and a brand new chapter begins the next day.
I know that was emotional for you.
That was a little bit tough. It's a good community, good people, great students, and been there 21 years. So.
Yeah.
Time for someone else to take over, and I know Ms. Shores will do a great job.
Sure she will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how's it going so far?
You know what? It's going great. The month of July has been so busy for Prince Edward County Public Schools, but it's been a rewarding busy. So it's met a lot of people. It's a good team. We've been out in the community a little bit. I know people, if they've been following on social media over the past. July has just been a quick month. We did 5 meet and greets across the community. So we started on July 14th. We went out to the Prospect Fire Department. Then on that Tuesday, the 15th, we went to the Meherrin Fire Department. On that Wednesday, we went to the Seed Innovation Hub in Farmville. On that Thursday, we went to the Rice Fire Department. On the following Monday, the NAACP hosted a school board people that running for the school board forum, and then Tuesday we ended at Crawley Forum at Hampden-Sydney. It's been a busy time, but it's been good. I can't say enough about all the people that I've met, and they've come out and with the support. It's a good community, so it's been good.
Well, that's great. All right. So, excuse me. After you get through this orientation and the process, I guess, the basic meeting and greeting everybody and everything, when you really get down to business, when do the kids start to school this year?
Our kids, our teachers return on Monday. The full team, everyone, starts on Monday for Convocation. And then Tuesday, August 5th, our kids come back to school.
Wow.
It is here.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm amazed.
Yep.
Are they going to be getting out earlier?
Well, they get out in May.
In
yes.
May? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
okay. August. It's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot. Yes. Yes.
So have you toured I know you toured the campus and all of that. How are things going with the lower school construction?
It's going really well. My first day on the job, July 1, couple hours into it, I went into a construction meeting. So the only thing I knew is the construction was happening. I could see this A-frame roof and a lot of, but I did take a tour. And the question that I had is, when will it be completed? And so it's spring of 2027. So they've done, I can't say enough about Mr. Caton, who is like the superintendent for the construction. He's
the foreman, right?
He's the foreman. He's done a phenomenal job, and it's just making sure everything's going well. And It's progressing. So the new parts there, they're getting most things under roof. We just put a fence around the playground behind the elementary school between the playground and 460. So there's a fence there for a little added safety.
Right.
And just getting everything, the final cleanup before school starts. So it's going well. It's on track. You know, the rain sets you back a little bit.
Well, yeah.
But
Set everybody back, I think.
it did, because it's been raining a little bit, and things are under roof now. So we're transitioning now to the construction piece that will happen during school, and then still working in phases. So
Well, I bet the students actually are looking forward to being in their own little,
yeah, it's going.
compact area.
You know, the front of the school will shift, where you see the A-frame if you come by there and see that. So it'll help drop off. And so when you walk in, it's going to be a fantastic view. You'll walk in and there'll be some classrooms on the right, and I think the administrative offices on the left. The focal point when you walk in will be the school library. And so that's going to be great. And then when you look past the library, it's glass, and then there'll be a playground, and then you can look out across the football field, and then there'll be trees. It's probably one of the prettiest views. And even though
It's
there's
light and airy.
it is. It'll bring a different feel, and with that, talking about that, I appreciate the school board and the Prince Edward County Board of Supervisors, and of course the community and the citizens for making that possible. That's a big investment, but
It is.
it's well worth it. Just the excitement and the newness. It's good.
Well, it was needed.
It was needed. Yes, ma'am.
And you want to stay ahead of those things
want to stay
until
ahead,
it gets to the point to where it's going to be a major cost,
Yes.
to renovate or even start
Yeah.
all over again. You don't want that.
No.
So that's good. Well, I know you're just starting out, but do you see any challenges coming up that are pressing for you as the superintendent?
Well, anytime you change and you come in, you're new, you're just getting established. You're learning, because school divisions are so different. Even though they're neighbors, they can be different. One of the things that we're really focusing on is the recruitment and retainment of staff, because we need to have great teachers, we need to have great administrators, we need to have great bus drivers, school nutrition, administrative assistants, everyone that makes the school tick.
Right.
So we're focusing on that. And then with that, we want it to be, we're always looking at our pay scales and the benefits that we offer our team members. But then we also want it to be a place where people want to come work. So always working to improve the culture of the buildings. And
Right.
that's a focus. And then you're always looking at safety. How can we make it just a little bit safer? So,
Of course, yeah. Well, what about your enrollment as far as your students coming in? Of course, it's larger than Cumberland.
yes, ma'am.
But think you have a good enrollment
We
this year?
do. It's of course, this is my first time in Prince Edward County Public Schools, just transitioning. But I think enrollment, it's going up. So elementary school, they're hovering right around 800 students. So that's pre-K through grades 4. Our middle school, a little bit, probably in the 500s, and then our high school just tipped over 500. So it's good. So that's grade 9 through 12. So there's some excitement and some movement, and but just like any system, you don't get a true enrollment usually till about the end of August, or really right after Labor Day, because people may still be in a summer mode, or they're moving in.
Or they're
and
still on
transferring, and
vacation,
They're still
or-
on vacation. So it's
Yeah.
it fluctuates a little bit in August and September.
Yeah, it does. Well, from your experience in Cumberland, are there any new ideas that you want to maybe interweave with your position in Prince Edward? Or are they just totally different?
Well, they're different, but in a lot of aspects, when you look at it, no matter whether you're a small division, whether you're a neighboring division, you're focusing on the kids. What's in the best interest of the kids, and for the kids to do well, you need a good staff.
Right.
So, I don't want to make, it's not one of these things like, I don't want to make Prince Edward Cumberland and vice versa.
Right. Right.
it's two totally different divisions. So just getting in there and getting to know the team that's there, and I can't say enough about them. They're phenomenal people that work at Prince Edward County Public Schools. They're working, they're committed, they're dedicated, and they've been very welcoming. And just looking at how we partner with the community, but how do we improve our community partnerships? And so that's one of the things that we're working on, because in the meet and greets that I've had across the community and just in people that I've talked to, that they want to help, they want to support. So just, it's good that when people and organizations want to come in, but just having it streamlined, like this group may do this group may do that, or they may have an interest in doing that. Like maybe it's feeding an athletic team for a game.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe it's coming in to help reshelve library books, or maybe it's coming in just to read to students and just finding out interests. So that's a focus for it.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
good.
good.
Kind of rebranding our community support and partnerships.
Well, you know that you have that
Absolutely.
base.
Yes.
That you have a good base there so that you can kind of branch out.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to tell us
I
about?
do. July has been it's been so good. We launched the Reading Eagle, and what that is, that's a refurbished school bus. Instead of for it going to surplus and get auctioned off, before I got there, they came up with an idea to paint it, and the team took it out to the different Dollar Generals across the community, and we went to the Farmville Splash Pad, and we went to Parkview Gardens, and what it is it's a school bus, an old refurbished school bus that has books on it.
A bookmobile.
A book, yes, but they call it the Reading Eagle, and parents and kids could get on there and pick out a book, and when they got off, I tell you, I went to a couple of the events. There's nothing more powerful than a student, a book, a carrying adult, and when they get off, you can't go wrong with an icy pop.
That's right.
So just to see those little kids when they get off, and
Yeah.
just excitement, and it
Yeah.
builds, what it does is it builds the love of literacy. It connects schools with families, and it promotes Eagle pride. So it's good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great. I used to love bookmobiles, when
Yes,
they
ma'am.
come by our neighborhood. Of course, I've always loved books anyway. But yeah, it reminds me, Francis has I've got a basement full of books. I probably
It could be on the Eagle.
Yeah,
It
in
could.
fact, I intend
Thank you.
to do that because all his books are great, They're
Another
really
thing that we
morning.
highlighted this year is the school board works with me, and we hired a principal for the CTE Center. So it is a principal just for the career and technical education or vocational
Very
center,
good.
which is right across from the high school. And we hired Jason Lee. He graduated from Prince Edward. His family's from Prince Edward. Currently, he was working in Albemarle County Public Schools. Now he's come back to us, and just growing the opportunities for the kids. So, because not every kid is going to college, which is okay.
Yeah, it's
But-
fine. It used to be if you weren't going to college, you're not going to college?
Right. So, right. So now, when they walk across the stage from Prince Edward County High School, we need to make sure they have an idea of what career they want to be in, whether it's a HVAC, whether it's electrician, and automotive, or they have some type of credential, whether they could, just go into the workforce or maybe working while they're in school. And one of the programs we just added is cosmetology. So everybody, no matter what, wants their hair to look good, probably their
course.
nails
Their
and
nails, their
everything.
toes,
So absolutely. So we're adding that. We're in the process of interviewing for that position right now, so that will be new to us. It'll be a 3-year program where kids will start in their sophomore, then transition to their junior, and then their senior year. So,
That's so important because trades had become
yes.
kind of a thing of the past, not a thing of the past, but they were set aside.
Right.
Now we all need mechanics. We all need someone to come in, a plumber or whatever, to fix and repair, and that's
And
good.
people will pay because we just don't know how to do it. I can do a lot of things, but I'm not a carpenter, I'm not a plumber, I'm not an electrician, and you probably don't want me doing your HVAC.
Well, it's a throwaway society what we've come to, but you can't replace AC or HVAC. You can't easily replace a car.
Right.
You can't easily replace a furnace or
Right.
that type of thing. So, yeah, that's good.
So it's good, and the community support for that. And one of the things that we're growing on that, and this is where we'll need the support of the community, is we need opportunities for our kids maybe to go out and a job shadow to see if it's a job they may be interested in, or maybe an internship, or maybe have somebody come in and talk to them about the different careers, because you don't know what you don't know, and then you don't know until someone maybe helps you with it. So just
That's
working
right.
to grow that.
It's always fear of the unknown.
Yes.
Once you get into it, you think, why in the world was I so afraid of that? Or why in the world did that intimidate me?
You're right.
It's good for the brain to
It is.
to learn something.
Keeps you on your toes a little bit, right?
Learn something new.
Yes.
That's great. What
And
else?
So one of the things also we did, because we needed a couple more things to do in the month of July. We hosted an administrative retreat. Hampden-Sydney let us have it at their board's library, the top floor, beautiful place. And what we wanted to do with that is, because there's so many new faces at Prince Edward County Public Schools this year, we needed to come together as a team. And we looked at student achievement data. We started with that. And then at lunch, we worked with a gentleman, Lance Civic, out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And he wrote a book on adversity. So we need to take a little break from education, because we can hear every education topic that there is. Sometimes you got to revisit life
Right.
and talk about adversity and how either you give into it or it helps you grow and get better. So he spoke about that. So it was good. It's adversity fuels purpose, where you want to live a life of impact and success. So we focused on that, and I think it touched it. It helped, and we had everybody, whether you were a school administrator, assistant in central office, and we even had air transportation, head mechanic, transportation director, and maintenance director to come in and be a part of that. And then the next day, we worked on branding for Prince Edward County Public Schools. When people hear Eagles or they see Eagles, what do they want to know?
You have to promote yourself.
We did. So and for the community to believe in what we do, we have to believe in what we do.
Absolutely.
And come together as a team. So it was pretty impactful, and one of the things that they came away with, now think about 23 people who are fairly new to each other, sitting in a room, going through, and we will come up with a branding statement. It was a
Right.
pretty intense exercise, but at the end, there was laughing, there was talking, and we came up with a product, and we wanted to remember the history of Prince Edward County, because it's rich in history. We wanted to talk about the pride of Eagle Pride, and then always using excellence as the goal in everything we do. So we came up with legacy fuels us, pride drives us, and excellence defines us.
Very good.
So it was good. It was
Ring the bell for
good.
that. Wonderful.
And
Yeah.
it was good, and that's just been the momentum going forward.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. See, you've already, it makes it, well, it takes a team,
It does.
a good team, and they have to be dedicated, and I know that you're coming into a dedicated team to work
I
with.
tell you, they're rock stars, and we've had a lot of good recruitment, and we know we have work to do. Everyone has work to do.
Yeah.
But we're owning it, and we're moving forward. But, as I close, it's I can't say enough about the community and how supportive they've been, and just meeting them, and well, I know a lot of them because I'm from the community.
Right, yeah.
So, but it's good, the support.
I know Doug Stanley was singing your praises
Well,
when he was here
I
last
appreciate
week.
that.
Yeah. He's so easy to get along with,
He's
and
a
I know
good
you guys
person.
will be doing well together, working together. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
And was there anything else that you wanted to?
It's
add?
school starts August 5th. We have
August
open
5th,
house
yeah.
on July Thursday, so I think it's July 30th.
That's right.
No, June 31st.
June 31st.
I don't know,
yeah.
one of those days.
Yeah,
It's Thursday.
31 days has July, so.
And something new for families, and they got a phone call from me about it, and I put it in a letter, is if you followed legislation, through the General Assembly, one of the things is cell phones are up and away from bell to bell instruction. So that means they're up from bell to bell instruction from the start of the day to the end of the day.
Right.
That may be a little bit of a change or an adjustment. So in simple Chip Jones terms, is they just need to be up and away.
Right.
And then if you happen to, so we're working through that. And there's always the option to leave it at home.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I stressed at the community meetings, and I want to stress to everyone, is there's so much out on social media and there's so much out on different apps. And this is Chip as a parent to other families and parents out there is, if your kid's on social media, you need to get in their business and find out who they're talking to and the different apps they have.
Especially with AI coming in on it.
It's a lot of people out there not doing good things, and they quote unquote prey on kids on social media and they just have a way. But if you're any family member that's listening to this, they need to get in their kids' business on social media.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's pretty harsh to say, but that's just reality.
Well, tough love. You got to do it.
Yes.
You have to do it because they had something on the news yesterday, I guess it was, about this AI interfering in social media with these kids becoming friends with this AI thing.
Yes.
And
there's a lot of influence.
That's very scary.
It is. And there's a purpose. And AI can be really good in a lot of ways, but you just have to put in some parameters of what can and can't be done. So, the up and away for the cell phone will be a little bit different.
Well, that will be weaning them a little bit.
It will. So the first 3 or 4 weeks of it are going to be interesting. 3 or 4 weeks.
Very interesting.
But, there'll probably be lots of emotions tied to it, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah. Well, what about of course, if you have exceptions, like kids with maybe diabetes or have a medical
absolutely. There's
problem or something like that.
And we would work with the family on that. There's always, the overall rule is up and away, but then you get into certain scenarios, whether it's medical, whether it's related to diabetes or something else. We work through that. And I guess we're kind of going back old school a little bit. If a child needs to call their family member, or a family member needs to get a message to the kid, we call the office. It's kind of, and then we work through it that
just
way.
like it used to be.
Yeah, just like it used to be. So sometimes the old days were the good days, and we kind of go back and revisit that.
Yeah, go back and revisit that. Yeah, humans talking to humans again as well.
But I know that's a lot, and with all of that, at the end, it's been a busy month, and I'm glad to be in Prince Edward County Public Schools. It's been great. It's a lot of good things going on. There's a lot of good things that will probably come down the pike, but it's been a good transition, and we're moving forward.
Well, that's the only way to go, as far as you're concerned.
Absolutely,
I know that.
we got to go.
You are fantastic.
Well, I don't know about that.
I know Prince Edward is going to be better and better.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yes, because you have the right attitude, and it's teamwork.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Communication and all that.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, now, when can we hear from you again?
Well, I will come back in August, let school get settled, and we'll report on a couple things and give some updates. And one other shout out I want to get is our band students been doing band camp for the last 2 weeks.
Wow, that's
and
fantastic.
7:30 to 5.
Wow.
And I think when you see a band, you don't realize all that goes into a kid performing in the field or a parade or anything, and it's been there. That's good. And if anyone hadn't, going back to the Reading Eagle, we'll be at Parkview Gardens on August 1st, I think at 5 o'clock for the National Night Out. And then for the Heart of Virginia Festival that's coming out, the Reading Eagle will be at the Heart of Virginia Festival.
All right.
So it's going to be good.
It's going to be great. Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that back. Brings back memories for me, too. Thank you so much, Chip, for coming in and giving us a preview of your future as superintendent of Prince Edward County.
I appreciate that.
And it's going to be a great one.
It's going to be good.
It is going to be good.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Take care.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, and good luck.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
All right. That was Chip Jones, and he is now superintendent of schools, Prince Edward County. So he went from a Duke to an Eagle. and congratulations to him. I know he'll be a wonderful asset to Prince Edward County. All right, our time is 8:30, so we have some business to do. We've got our weather forecast coming up. It's brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County.
Hello, I'm Stuart Wilborn, manager of the Bank of Charlotte County Loan Office in downtown Farmville. I invite you to call or come by and see me about your loan needs. Whether it's time to purchase investment property, build your dream house, expand your business, or purchase timberland or farmland, you will find old school personal assistance with attention to detail. Stop by our office at 216 North Main Street or call us at 391-1136. The Bank of Charlotte County, giving you more for your banking needs. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Your forecast for Southside and Central Virginia for today. We do have a heat advisory in effect from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. today. It will be sunny with a high around 96 degrees with a heat index value as high as 104. Our winds coming in from the west at around 3 to 5 miles per hour. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms before 9 p.m. Otherwise, mostly clear with a low around 74. Chance of precipitation is 20%. On Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms after 2 p.m. Mostly sunny with a high near 96. Heat index values as high as 107 on Saturday. Chance of precipitation at 30%. Saturday night, a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 2 a.m. Then partly cloudy with a low around 74. A chance of precipitation is 30%. On Sunday, chance of showers and thunderstorms after 2 p.m. Mostly sunny with a high near 96 degrees. Chance of precipitation is 50%. Sunday night, a chance of showers and thunderstorms at 30%. And we'll see otherwise partly cloudy with a low around 74. And for Monday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms after 2 p.m. That chance again at 30%. Otherwise mostly sunny, still hot, high around 95 degrees. Monday night, a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 8 p.m. That chance at 30% with a low of 74. For Tuesday, sunny and hot with a high near 97 degrees. Outside, our humidity is at 80%, our barometer at 30.07 inches. We do have a sunset at around 8:27 this evening. Our morning low was at 71. Winds coming in around 6 miles per hour from the west-southwest. Skies right now are hazy and sunshine and 78 degrees. That is your weather forecast. Brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County with branch locations in Phoenix, Charlotte Courthouse, Brookdale, and their loan office in downtown Farmville. We've got our birthday and anniversary calendar coming up. It will be for the next 3 days. Noah Massage will be joining me for that. And it was brought to you by Terry Atkins Wilson, PC.
The Law Office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC.
Well, we'll get that back in just a minute. All right. We've got our birthday calendar with Terry Atkins Wilson, PC. Bringing that up for our commercial is Noah Massage. Yes, we've got it. So we'll play that very quickly here.
The Law Office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, is located at 117 North Main Street in downtown Farmville. Deep roots in Farmville and our surrounding communities. Terry and her legal staff specialize in real estate law, wills and trusts, and business formations. Experience and professionalism are extended to every customer in every case. The needs and concerns of every customer are their primary focus. If you have legal needs, contact the Law Office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, for a consultation at 434-392-1422.
Well, we already had our birthday music. I hate it when that happens. I get a little trigger finger going and off we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you this morning?
Doing well. Chris, how are you doing?
Doing fine. We've got 3 days of birthdays.
Yes, we do. A lot of birthdays.
All right, so tell us who's celebrating.
Sure thing. Going to start off the list with, I don't know if this one was read. I'm just going to read it. Sherry Winston.
Winston.
No,
Sherry
this was yesterday.
Sherry Swinson. Yes, it was read for yesterday.
Yes.
Okay,
gotcha. Also happening, Larry Roten celebrating birthday today. Mike Goodman, Elijah Bird, Paxton Tate Osborne, and McKenna Troxel celebrating birthdays today. And also Bob and Donna Browning of Rice celebrating 55 years of marital bliss.
I know.
That's
I know
pretty-
the Brownings.
Oh, very
nice people,
nice.
nice couple.
Also celebrating for Saturday, we have Shelly Simmons, Emily Cortetz.
Okay.
Those 2 birthdays. And then Sunday, we have Judy Childress. We also have Autumn Komadath. I'm going to go with that, but it's Khom. Khomdath. Gomdath. There you go. Always ask Chris when you have questions. Yes. And then we have one anniversary. Jason and Angie Dumond celebrating anniversary. But the page was crinkled in the very corner in that birthday. So it looked like the D looked like an L for a second. I was like, this is going to be a tricky one to pronounce.
I understand. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
So that's the birthdays, Chris.
How do they get them to us?
A couple of different ways you can call in with the phone number 434-394-0924. They can also email us at birthdays@wflo.net or go on our website under the on-air mentions page and submit birthdays directly from our website.
All right. Well, we do have our segment of Lost Not Found by our intern, Sean Winder. So we will get into that right now.
Okay.
Hello, Farmville. I'm Sean Winder, and this is Lost Not Found, a series where I go around Farmville and ask people about what their favorite lost media may be, both in and outside of Farmville. Now, what classifies as lost media could be either, say, a movie that you've watched, or a game that you've played, or a TV show that you've watched, a book you've read, a store that you've gone to, all that either wasn't preserved properly or you can't access it anymore. So today, I am here at Hampden-Sydney with, would you like to introduce yourself?
Danielle Ion. I am the Archival and Digital Projects Librarian. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania originally. I moved down here to Farmville when I took the job at Hampden-Sydney in February of 2024. So I am not super familiar. I'm learning as I go and everything. I can say that Hampden-Sydney tends to be obviously a topic for which I look into and that I'm archiving the materials for. And Hampden-Sydney tends to have a lot of lost media in that sense. I'm only the second archivist in the history of the college, so there are several decades of years that were just lost. And I mean, that's just with history in general. A lot of people will lose history, especially from the early years. It's hard to find family ancestry things from like the 1700s or the 1800s, and a college is no different in that sense.
Has there ever been a situation in Hampden-Sydney where something that was presumed to be lost, like suddenly got found?
Yeah, so, well, currently I have found some things. We've had a couple account books that the archivist before me, she found, and they're a Venable and a Watkins account book. So the founders of the college, actually, and she was able to find those kind of hidden within the library, essentially. This past year, we found a faculty professor and their high school student, their child. They borrowed a book from our library that was in the stacks, and it turns out it was a first edition of Tell My Horse by Zora Neale Hurston, and it was signed by Zora as well. And we didn't know that that existed We have no idea how we found it, how it came to be at Hampden-Sydney, but it was checked out by a patron and then they saw it and returned it to us. So it was kind of found media.
I wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite piece and or type of lost media that's around the world? It doesn't have to be like specifically in Farmville, but anything just outside of here.
Yeah, I think I tend to gravitate more towards books. I've had the wonderful opportunity to take a class at Rare Book School at UVA, and I have learned a lot about rare books, and I tend to gravitate more towards those. I think my favorite currently, there's a news story that just came out not too long ago of scrolls of papyrus from Pompeii, and they have been essentially crystallized because of the ash and everything from the volcano, and with new technology, they're able to actually start reading these scrolls of papyrus for the first time in thousands of years, and that's something that's really cool. We tend to recycle books and paper and things like that, so even Egyptian mummies, they were sometimes wrapped in papyrus that was plays or stories and things like that, and with that same technology for the papyrus scrolls from Pompeii, they're actually able to read plays on mummies as well now too, which is really cool.
One more question before I let you go. What would you say is the best and worst cases for archival of like any lost media that you know of?
For best cases, it would be finding something that you didn't even know you had, like the Zora Neale Hurston book. Or last summer, I found ancient Greek and Roman coins that were in a cabinet in the library, and there was a record of them, but the record itself had also been kind of forgotten. So finding something that has been forgotten is one of the best things. The worst thing is whenever you find a floppy disk and you have no way to convert it, and you know that what is on that item could be so valuable, but it's just gone and you can't convert it, you can't access it, and sometimes you have situations where even opening it could risk losing it, and so that's the worst part.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too.
Tune in next week for another episode of Lost Not Found at AM 870 or WFLO.net.
All right, that was Lost Not Found with Sean Winder. We're going to have Sean in just a little bit, but right now we've got Henry on the line, I do believe. But we'll have Sean in since it's his last day here as an intern to talk with us. So anyway, so we'll see if we can take this caller, if he's still on the line.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, Henry. All right. Very good.
The reason I'm still here is because I ain't all there.
All right.
Somebody said I used low-calorie shampoo because I was a fathead.
That's a good one.
Yeah. My school teacher one time asked me in the math class how many seconds were in a year. And I said 12. And she said, how do you figure that? I said, well, it's January 2nd, February 2nd, March 2nd. 12 seconds in a year.
I really like that. That's great.
You know, there was this young couple, and the lady, the young wife, told her husband, you're always bragging on your family and talking about them, but you never say anything about my family. You don't seem to care for my family at all. He said, that's not true. I can prove it. She says, what do you mean? He said, well, I think a whole lot more of your mother-in-law than I do of mine.
Okay.
That kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Did you know this date in history? In 1740, a Frenchman invented the toilet seat. In 1740.
Mm-hmm.
In 1755, they came up with an improved model which had a hole in it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes it much better.
Oh, well. I've got kind of a long little story to tell you, if I can.
Okay.
All right. Having been to Gold Hill Elementary School several times as honorary grandparent, I was asked to come and speak on Career Day. That was in the mid-'90s. And I frustrated a few minutes about what to take grades 1 through 7 about careers. And then I finally said, Lord, you just do what you want me to do when I get there. So the day I went to the public school at New Canton area, I carried my Bible in with me. Now, they had grades 1 through 3 for about an hour, and then grades 4 through 7 for another hour. The only thing I remember telling them was that what they wanted to do, what school to go to, what classes to take. And I said, you can get ulcers and headaches and worry and be afraid and still be unsuccessful. But I said, God created you and He had a plan for your life. And at your birth, He gave you the talents and gifts to carry that plan out. And anyway, and I told him, when you become His child, He'll give you other gifts, and you'll be successful and fulfilled. And all without, beating your head against the wall. So the choice is yours, all right? Mm-hmm. As the elderly principal, Mr. Johnson, walked me to the car afterwards, he said they need to hear these things, but I'm not allowed to tell them. So I got my old station wagon, and I said, this is at New Canton now. I said, Lord, I know I'm supposed to take my Bible in the public school, nor was I supposed to talk about you, Lord, but if it found favor with you, use me to uplift someone before I get home. So I left the school at Gold Hill and headed back to Farmville. As I approached Dillwyn, I said, Lord, I'll go through Dillwyn on up to Sprouse's Corner and then to Farmville. But that little voice spoke to me and said, go down the Rosny Road. That's the road between Dillwyn and Route 60. It's where our family farm was also. So I drove on past the farm and had gone about another mile, and I saw a dirt road, and the Holy Spirit said, go up that road and talk to a righteous man. So I turned off on the dirt road and went about a quarter mile, ran through a creek, came out on the other side, and 100 yards or so, I looked up, and there were 3 buildings. One on my left, and then there was a shop. And midway up the hill, there was a house on the right, and at the top of the hill, a mobile home. And there the road ended. I said, Lord, which one of these do I go to? And I looked at the house on the right, and there was an old man standing in the backyard leaning on a cane. I drove up and parked and got out and started across the yard towards him, and he looked up, and he must have seen my picture or whatever, because he seemed to know me. And I said to him, I don't know why I'm here, but I was led to come here. He said, I was out here in the backyard praying that one day I'd get to meet you, for I've been wanting to tell you and to talk to you. And I looked up, and here you come walking across the yard. It turned out he was 84-year-old retired Pentecostal preacher from Kentucky. And he was waiting to die from black lung disease, for he had worked in the coal mines. So he and I praised the Lord and fellowship for about an hour. And I left and got over to Route 60. I said, well, I'll turn right. go to Sprouse's Corner, then on to Farmville. And the Holy Spirit said, go to Cumberland. I said, okay, I'll turn left and go to Cumberland. So I drove east on Highway 60. As I got near the Willis River Bridge, I looked at a road just east of the bridge, and this road led up to Highway 45 towards Farmville. And that old voice said to me, go up that road and stop at the first house you see with a truck in the yard, and pray for someone inside who is ill. So that may be the longest sentence the Spirit had ever spoken to me. I turned up that road, went several hundred yards around the curve, up a hill, and looked on the right, and the Holy Spirit said, there's a house. There was a truck in the yard, and I said, why, that's Ralph Hedrick's house. Ralph and Diane were friends of ours. They had 2 daughters in school at the academy, and Sarah was the youngest one and classmate of our daughter Christy. Jill was the older one, but played on the softball team with Christy. So I drove up to the stone-covered driveway to the house, tires crunching the gravel. A couple of dogs ran out and barked and barked. The house looked deserted, curtains closed. I waited to see if anybody would come out, so I got out and stood silently for several minutes. And I said, well, apparently there's nobody home, but I'm supposed to pray for someone who's ill inside. And I got back in the old wagon and came on back to Farmville. All right, the Saturday after that was Heart of Virginia Day. Thousands in attendance, and I was doing some live reports over the radio here, and I saw Ralph and Diane Hedrick walking, and Ralph had his arm in a sling, and I said, well, and maybe he wasn't sick, maybe he was injured. So I asked him what happened, and he said he pulled a ligament in his arm while working on the roof. And I asked him when it happened. He said, about 2 weeks ago. I said, I don't understand it. I was by your house this weekend, and the Holy Spirit told me to pray for someone inside who was ill, but there was nobody home. And they looked at each other and said, Jill was home sick. And I then said, this will prove that God sent me. Mm-hmm. Because God is not going to send an old dude out in the country where there's a 16-year-old girl alone whose parents have told her don't answer the door. Oh. So she will tell about the dogs barking, but she'll say they're always barking about something. And she didn't know I was there, because if she had looked out and saw me, she might have said, well, there's Christy's dad. And she might have opened the door and, disobeyed her parents. Mm-hmm. So next day at softball practice, she came up to batting practice, and I always carried a 3-gallon cooler of pink lemonade to the softball practice. And I would sit there and watch them practice. Well, when Jill came to bat, she saw me and dropped her bat and came back and said, thank you for praying for me a couple of days ago. I said, well, Jill, did you know I was there? And she says, no, I heard the dogs barking, but they're always barking about something. I never knew you were there. I said, and I never knew that you were inside. And that proves the Lord sent me, because if you had known I was there, you might have opened the door. Mm-hmm. And she said, I probably would have. And I said, so the Lord took care of all of that. I said, and Jill said, well, he also removed the illness from me. Mm-hmm. I've got enough, these pages stuck together here. Just 1 second. It's going to take both hands to get these pages unstuck. Okay. Well, I believe that was the end of that story.
Oh, okay.
Because
all right. Yeah.
next, there's another story starting on the next page.
Okay.
Didn't mean to be so long.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And if anybody wants to talk with me, remember my number. It's because I don't know it stuff.
It's
414-0096.
all right, Henry.
And
Listen,
thank you.
we appreciate you, and we certainly hope that you have a wonderful weekend. And that was a great story.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. God
All right.
bless.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was our own Henry Fulcher. Yeah, that was a kind of an epic there. Anyway, all right. Well, let's get to our lines are open 434-394-0924. But we want to talk with Sean Winder because today's his last day. It seems like you just got here, Sean.
I know, time flies by fast.
I know. Well, tell us a little bit about your experience here at WFLO, what you've learned, and how you feel like that you can use it in your studies at Longwood.
It's actually been absolutely incredible working here for the internship because originally, when I had signed up for it, the only thing I really expected to experience and like the main thing that I had the goal for was the voice part of it and the broadcasting part of it. Mm-hmm. And I ended up learning so much more just within the first 1 or 2 weeks of doing this, such as like lining up the music and everything and like the logs and such, journalistic aspects that Noah took me out on and everything, the editing for like different promotions and such, recording the promotions and making sure that everything gets in at the exact time that it's like supposed to be there for. This is all stuff that I never thought that I was going to learn about ever in my life, and it ended up all coming down like just in like 1 or 2 weeks, and then everything past that is rolling from there. And even now there's still more and more new stuff that like had come my way even in the last week and all that. It's been really fun. I feel like I could definitely use this in basically any job because a lot of it is organizational stuff, like with the logs and stuff, organizational things, modifying the playlist so everything times out correctly. That teaches me good organization, the journalistic aspects, that teaches me more social stuff. So if I were to ever work in, say, like a retail store, maybe if I wanted to go to like customers and see if they needed help with anything, stuff like that, get to know the customer, find out what they need and everything. So I can see a lot of what I learned here being used for everyday life. The voice part just shows like more confidence and such, like learning about that and making sure that everything's going well with that and training yourself to do better with that and everything. I feel like there's a lot of things that can work in like not just jobs but like everywhere. Right. That I've gotten from working here, and I just feel like it's been an absolutely amazing experience with amazing people.
Well, I know when you first came here, you were a little bit nervous, and as far as your on-air presentation, I think Noah worked very hard with you to get the kind of the theatrical aspect, put that toward the back, and just become yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what you have to do when you're in radio. I mean, you know, in theater it's different. You become a whole different character. Yes. But in radio, it's more, especially hometown radio. Yep. The people, they connect with you and your voice, and that they want to make sure that you're sincere. You've made it fun as well. I think that you've had a good time.
Absolutely.
And so what are your prospects for, let's see, you are a junior this year or a senior?
I'm
Senior.
about to be senior.
A senior.
1 year left, and then I'm graduated, get my degree, and then.
Where are you going to go from there?
I'd probably start out with like a regular day-to-day job, just to get good head start on money and everything, so that I'd have something to lean back on, so I can take risks with the auditioning process and everything, because there's always gaps between auditions.
Oh, sure.
There's always the fact that like you're not always guaranteed a role, because there could always be the one person that they see fit is like a better fill for the position.
Right.
So I'd probably spend a year just making money at like any job, whether that be retail, maybe waiting on tables or anywhere else. Have a good amount to lean back on for a bit, maybe get myself like a studio apartment, because those are relatively cheap, and then start looking for the different auditions and everything, so that I can make a little bit of money off that. Basically, play it safe, and then also
have a little cushion there so that you can do what you want to do, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, listen, we're over time, but we just want to tell you here as part of WFLO that we've enjoyed having you here. It's been really a real pleasure.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor
you're
working
a
here.
cute guy. All right. That's going to do it for the Call Flow Radio Show. And Noah, thanks for sitting in.
Chris, of course, as always.
We'll be talking at you later. Everybody have a great remainder of your day. Stay cool. And we've got music coming up.